I don't know what I clicked up. What? That's not what I clicked. What is, not a bad number. 260,000. Support weapons, buddy? Oh, okay. So, you know what? I can't do it. Can't be that many of us running. Where's our cannon? No matter how good it is. How many good it is? How many good it is? That's what I just said. How many good it is. No matter how many good it is. No matter how many good it is. Oh, wow. Didn't realize. Oh, I haven't done automatons in a while. Jesus Christ. What the fuck just hit me? I was just running around like some idiot. I haven't played this in so long. Or automatons in so long.
This video is sponsored by The Lullaby of Life, the upcoming mesmerizing, musically motivated puzzle adventure. The game hits PC on April 30th via Steam, Epic Game Store, and GOG, with console releases to follow.
I didn't see what you did. Oh god.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Windbreaker Podcast, episode number 15 for Monday, March 18th, 2024. My name is Marty Sleva. I'm joined by Frost.
What
Nick,
are you
Eric
hitting me
is always
with?
behind the scenes
Jesus
producing,
Christ.
and we just have a two-man crew today, because you know what? A lot of folks are gone right now. A lot of folks
I
gallivanting
just took one
around
of you out.
GDC,
Yep, I was
taking care of
definitely
some
dead.
personal issues. We have Yahtzee and Nick and Jamate and Omar and Matt out in San Francisco checking out games, showing off games, which I feel. Do you think Yahtzee's a little nervous? He's showing off his game tonight.
Oh, he's probably. Like
I was about to say he's taking weird poos today. I bet.
Yeah, he's definitely absolutely upset tummies.
Upset
The butterflies are just firing out his
Absolutely. So
This
what better
sounds
way
so
to
horrible.
celebrate Yahtzee and crew being in San Francisco? Then Frost and I, we wanted to reach into our crystal balls. You don't reach into a crystal ball. I guess you look into a crystal ball.
What do you put in your? That's a cookie jar upside down on the table.
Delicious.
Yeah, so would you like them? I see macadamia in your future.
We play a lot of demos. We scrounge the depths of stuff like Next Fest and cool trailers, and so we wanted to see what we think are going to be some of the big gaming trends going forward into the rest of 2024 and beyond. I would say, I guess recent years we've been, we've seen the rise of stuff like the cozy game. We've seen, the rise of the Souls-like, the rise of the roguelike, the rise and seeming fall of games as a service. And so we wanted to see kind of what's the next big thing on the horizon, whether it's genre or mechanic or delivery method or ideology or anything. So yeah, what do you Franz, we could just kind of go back and forth with a bunch of our stuff. What's something you predict we're gonna be seeing a lot of in the coming years?
I was like, do you want to start or end with the wild ones? Because I think we should have the reasonable, like, logic based ones, but then also like this is right in my gut.
I like
right,
it.
Feel it. I feel like Pachinkos are really going to come back.
I like this.
Did he
let's
really
start
start?
normal.
That's crazy.
Start with
Start
like
normal,
things that
alright,
we
alright.
like. Let's put our actual like professional hats on and be like,
Okay.
listen, we're reading the tea leaves and we see this coming forward. So
Absolutely.
what's a regular one that you
Alright,
got?
so, well, I mean, the most sensible is that live service. I think it's going to keep on coming through.
Mhm.
And now these games are going to set themselves apart, not just by what they offer, but like the service, the quality of service. They're going to lean further into that, as we saw with who was it, Warner Brothers.
Mhm.
Even with with the way their games went, they're like, no, we're committing to live service. So if they're that doggone dogged about it, it's just coming. It's
Which
coming
is-
down the pipeline.
It's wild that Warner Brothers said that, coming off a year where far and away their biggest game was Hogwarts Legacy, which is just a single-player game without really any microtransactions, and by far their biggest flop of the past year and a half seemingly has been Suicide Squad, which was a game built on the foundation of live services that seemingly has crumbled within the first month of release.
So yeah, like if that's not enough to convince them off of it, where the only takeaway was we didn't live service enough.
Is
Or
it just
maybe
that
the
like?
wrong IP? I don't
Is
know.
it like they're in Vegas and they're seeing one person in the entire city is winning big, and they're like, well, that could be us. There's no reason that can't be us. And so they're seeing, the occasional live stream or live service game coming through and being a huge success. And everyone, like, it almost feels like every time we get one of those successes, everyone learns the wrong lessons from it. Like, I feel like Helldivers 2 is going to be a game and people do not take the right lesson from. And it feels like the right lesson should be, this game is sort of, your cult take just went up about it, but it seems like the thing the game does well is it's fun forward, and it's doing an interesting thing as it moves along with its storytelling, like using sort of the ongoing live service changes as a way of telling a story in an exciting way that I'm not even playing the game and I'm still like, what are these blue lights coming across the sky? Like, that's really neat. I don't know what that means, but I think it's really neat.
I don't think they're looking at the big ones per se, where it's like Genshin's doing this, so we can do it. I don't think that's what makes them brazen. It's like there's just no way we're going to be the next Genshin. I think it's smaller ones that have lasted so much longer. Say like your Dead by Daylight. Like, ooh, we got some Dead by Daylight players in here, surely. And you probably hate the game at this point, but you've been around for so long, and they're fine with that because live service games at that scale, we're talking like it's a little lower than Taco Bell.
I didn't
right?
bring the right loadout for this.
They still exist.
I did
They
not
still
know I was going to
because
be
they
put in
break
one
the
of
norm
these.
of vote with your wallet. We just need enough votes. We don't need all the votes. We just need around 10,000 minimum players who are like, yeah, it's fine. You know, my father ate here, my granddad ate here, and I will eat here till I die. In the way that, like, you know, sports fans hate their football teams, but don't you say anything about my football team, you know?
Yeah.
We are getting into that stage of almost like tribalism in a sense. So I expect live service is going to be more popular because you don't have to make a hit. You don't need to be God of War Ragnarok taking it. You don't need to be Elden Ring. You can be garbage so long as 10,000 people or wherever that number comes from, maybe. I get that number from Path of Exile because Chris Wilson said years ago, we just needed 10,000 people checking in every month, every day.
Yeah.
So whatever that minimum is
the
nowadays, right? Get a little coupon, get some money off of the servers. That's all you need to go for. So
it feels like if that's the minimum, though, you almost have to scale correctly. Like, I think one of the things we were seeing is maybe like a game like Suicide Squad was just in development too long, had too big of a budget and everything, had too many folks on it, too many resources devoted to it, to where it did need to come out and it did need to set the world on fire in a way that it was just clearly not going to do. I mean, that's the same thing when you see the reports coming out that like Spider-Man 2 didn't recoup its budget. Whereas it was like one of the biggest games of last year. Like, if that can't recoup its crazy AAA budget, then something is just rotten from the inside, right? With how these things are made.
Imagine though, Spider-Man is live service, and you're all swinging in the same place. So all of New York is covered in webbing, and you're smacking into each other in the air.
Without digging into ransoms and hacks and leaks and everything, a trailer did leak out of that very game that was in development at some point at Insomniac and got canceled, and it was sort of like a multiversal, you and a couple pals swinging around New York City as different Spider-Men and women, and it does seem like, that seems like that was probably pushed through when Sony had their big a few years ago, where they're like, we have 18 live service games in development, and everything since then, apart from Helldivers, has been, these games have been canceled. Like, the Last of Us thing is on ice, or the studio is shutting down, or who knows what's happening with this project. I don't know. It seems like with these live service, and or at least these multiplayer games like that, it feels like we're seeing more and more games with smaller teams and smaller budgets. Smaller, ranging from your Pal World, which that's not a massive team. It's not a tiny team.
It's like 55 people.
55 people, yeah. But then all the way down to like Lethal Company, which is a dude.
A dude in a cave with some Roblox
just a dude
parts.
in a cave with his box of scraps. And so it does seem like those are the things that can rise to the top and keep riding that wave, because like Among Us, it's one of those things, it didn't take us 10 years and $300 million to make this. So success is like a very relative term.
They're falling not falling, but somewhere it's like the risk or the gamble is just, hey, let's go evergreen, right? Let's just try to make a nice solid core. I mean, Amazon was doing that with its 3 failed games and 1 properly published one, Lost Ark. And they're still going for, what is it, a new Lord of the Rings MMO. That's it.
That just seems
like, you just need enough people.
Yeah, I guess, or you just need that one hit can offset a bunch of misses. I guess.
But riding on the live service thing, I think as they lean into the service part, they are sincerity.
What happened there? That was scary.
Yeah, it was like this sense of sincerity, and it is like Helldivers 2 or Deep Rock Galactic, and this is nothing against them. Even Lethal Company, where people don't necessarily like paying for giving games that they've already paid for more money. But if it does feel sincere, it feels like they listen to the community, then they're like, here, I'll buy your battle pass because it feels like I'm supporting the devs.
It feels like a tip. It feels like you're giving them a tip.
guess I will have to restart my computer because I goofed something up.